In this video, we're going to take a look at how we can use the Copy and Monitor tool to compare items in our MEP project along with the original architectural model. To begin with, I'm going to open my Gen Levels file. Now, when you open this file, you may be given a message that you need to review a link. If this comes up for you, just go ahead and click OK and ignore it for now. Next, I'm going to go to my East Mechanical view. And as we take a look at our architectural model versus what is in this particular file, if I hover over things, again, I'm only able to select the entire link. So I can see all of these levels over here are part of the architectural model. If I take a look at the levels in the current file, they are going to be just two things here, level 1 and level 2. In the textbook, it may tell you to align level 2 to level 2 here, and currently they are already aligned. So if that is the case when you open your project, you're fine, you don't need to do any aligning. Otherwise, if they are not aligned, then you can just simply use the modify and align command, select the level 2 in the linked project, and then the level 2 in the host project here to put those together. So what I want to do now is I want to create a monitored relationship between these levels. That way, if something changes either in my MEP project or in the architectural project, I'm given an alert that something is different. To do this, we are going to use the Copy and Monitor tool. This is on the Collaborate tab of the ribbon. And then we will see Copy Monitor here in the Coordinate panel. Each time I'm going to tell it which link I want to coordinate with, because it is possible to have multiple files linked into one project. I'll choose Select Link, then click the overall link here. Then I'm going to choose the Monitor tool. As I select the Monitor tool, you can see that initially I'm only able to select things in the host model. So I'll select level 1 in the host model. Then I can select things in the LinkedIn model. I'll choose the level 1 from the LinkedIn model. I'll go ahead and repeat the same thing for level 2. So I'll select the level 2 in the host model and the level 2 in the linked model. Then I'll go ahead and finish. I'm going to select one of these levels and use the little circle here to drag it out to make this a little more visible. And you'll see that when I select one of these levels, I'm going to get this little symbol here that indicates that it is being monitored. So once again, what that means is if something changes either in the host file or in the LinkedIn file, I'm going to get a message. So let's say that I tried to change level 2 to 14 feet. As you can see, I get a little message that indicates that there's something that's not matching up anymore. Now I can ignore this and keep working, but there is a tool that we can go ahead and check any differences. We'll look at that in a later lesson. So for now, I'm just going to undo to get this back to where it belongs. You can also copy multiple things at the same time. So let's say that I wanted to copy these 3 levels. First of all, before I do, notice the difference in the symbols. Anytime you see a blue level symbol, that indicates that there is a plan view associated with that one. So there's a level 2 plan view, there's a level 1 plan view. Anytime that symbol is black, that level exists in the project, but a plan view has not been created for that yet. So when we create new levels, we can decide if we want those there or not. Okay, so back on the Collaborate tab, I'm going to copy monitor, select link, and then I'll select the link here. Then I am going to choose the copy. So it's not a batch copy, that's a completely different tool, but I'm going to do a multiple copy. I'll choose copy. Then in my options bar, I can choose multiple. Then while holding control, I can select multiple items to copy. Basically, the difference here is a little bit of time savings. You might have noticed each time I copied one of the other items, or monitored, I should say, on one of those other items, it took a little moment to work. So here I can get them to all work at the same time. I'll go ahead and click finish. This is important. I need to click the finish on the options bar first. Then I can click the overall finish, but Revit does change which tab is current, so I have to click back on the Copy Monitor tab and then click the finish there. And now those 3 have been copied into the host drawing. So once again, I can select one of them and drag the circle out to match the other ones. And we can see the ones in the host drawing and the ones in the linked file as well. I'm going to back up real quick just to show you that same step, but without the multiple option. So I will back up a couple times before I copied and monitored those. And I'll just choose the copy tool. And instead of using the multiple, you can just individually pick each item. And as you can see, there's a brief little delay while it copies it, but it's not too bad. So if it's just 2 or 3 items, I'd probably just go ahead and pick them individually instead of using the multiple option. But again, either way will get me the same result, which is the levels copied into the host project. It's also important to note that when you copy an item in, it's automatically going to be monitored. So I can see those links, the little monitor symbol over here as well. I can also monitor relationships between things. So instead of them being exactly the same, I can do an offset level and have it monitor the relationship between those. So for this, I'm going to create a couple of reference levels above level 1 and level 2. I'm going to go to the Architecture tab and then choose the Datum Level tool. Now, as I mentioned earlier, the black ones indicate that there is not a view associated with it. And that's what we're going to do right now. So here in the options bar, we're going to turn off the option to make a plan view. And then I'm going to choose the Pick Lines tool. And then I'm going to put in an offset of 3'6" here. Now I'm going to come into my level 2 here and level 1 and create a level offset up above it, 3'6". Then I'll escape out of that tool, and I'm just going to come over here and rename these. So this one will now be called Level 1 Reference. And then this one up here will now be called Level 2 Reference. And then just as I did before, I can monitor the relationships between these. So I'll go to the Collaborate tab, copy and monitor, select link. I'll select my linked file here. Then I will monitor, and I will choose my level 1 reference with the original level 1 in the linked file. And then I'll do the same thing with my level 2 reference and the level 2 there as well. And then I can finish. So once again, if one changes, I'm going to get a little message. Let's just say I changed my level 2 reference. I'll drag it up a little bit. I can see I get a little error message there. So in the next lesson, we'll dig a little further into the coordination review and what to do when we have some differences in between the projects. That concludes this lesson on copying and monitoring elements in Autodesk Revit.